Guys, what's up? It's me again, your G Sensei, and we will continue our discussion with uh, Excel functions. So we will continue with cell references. So there are three cell references. We have the relative reference, the absolute reference, and the mixed reference. So first is the relative reference. So by default, Excel uses relative references. So in this image below, okay? So the formula in cell D2, in this column, this is cell D2. The cell D2 references to cell B2 and C2. Both are references, both references are relative. When you say relative, again guys, that's the by default na nakalagay sa Excel. If we are going to have here an example, a moment guys ha. Okay, for example, we have here, okay, so we will be using this one and this one. So that's an example of relative cell references. Okay, one thing about relative references is that when you change automatically here, yung ni-refer niya na mga cells, of course, uh, dito sa cell na to, sa column na to, specifically cell C2, it will adjust automatically. Okay? Basta references, yun, sa Excel, adjust siya automatically. If we're going to change this into 2, obviously, yun, naging 4. So that's the relative reference. Again, A2 and plus B2. Okay? So the next one is, of course, okay, one more thing about the relative references, of course, when we use relative references, for example, we have here certain data. Okay, I will give you data here. Okay, so we will make use of that formula here in cell C2. Okay, so you need to apply this one to the rest of the cells. So you click the cell where the formula was typed or okay was typed. So you click the cell and then apply that one to the rest of the cell by moving your mouse to the fill handle. So when your cursor becomes a plus sign, black plus sign, you click, hold, and then drag. Okay. So that's a relative reference. So if we're going to click that certain cell and looking at the formula bar, okay, so that's A2 plus B2, we're going to change that one to the next cell which the formula was applied to. So the A2 plus B2 on cell C2 became A3 and B3. So there's a plus one or there's a loop in the next cell. Okay, so here it's A2 plus B2. This one becomes A3 plus B3. So if you have noticed, when we click that certain cell which has the formula and then apply that one to the rest of the cell, there's a loop in each cell. So there's a plus one. Okay, so the A2 becomes A3, then becomes A4, A5, and so on. Okay, so next is the absolute reference. So the absolute reference, okay, to create an absolute reference in this example, which is in cell H3, to cell H3, okay, place a dollar symbol in front of the column letter and row number, okay, in the formula E3. So in this example, okay, the length, the length is in this column, which is column B in centimeter, and width is 10. So the conversion rate is 0.3937008. So because of this conversion, the length in inch was converted from centimeter to inch. To convert that one, you need to multiply that one, the centimeter, this column to this conversion rate. So that's why they use this one. B3, which is this column, a cell specifically, times this one. So if you're going to apply this formula to the rest of the cell, so you can get the converted length from centimeter to inch, you need to use an absolute reference to this one. Okay, if you will apply this one, in the next cell, this becomes equals B4, of course, because you are going to get that one times dito pa rin siya naka-refer because it's an absolute. Meaning, if kahit na i-drag mo to using the fill handle, it will not change dito. Itong H3, cell H3, which is the conversion rate. Okay? So, this, ito yung nangyari na. Okay? Okay, this one naman, conversion rate ng sa width din, apply niya din dito yung absolute reference. Okay, so in the example, for example, okay, so what will I do is I will just siguro copy this one na lang so that you can see the what I meant to you. Okay, so a moment, guys. So let's say that this is length by centimeter and width by centimeter. Okay, and then we're going to convert that one, so we will just delete na lang muna this one, ha? Okay, and we are going to get the length and centimeter, length and width, but this time it's inch. Okay, I will just copy so that I can explain to you further this formula. So the conversion is conversion rate, that's ano yun, 0.393, 0.39377,000. Okay, so again we will just copy this one, 1542, 1542, and in this column then okay, so in the formula, okay, ways to convert the length from centimeter to inch is by using this conversion. Okay, so what will we do is, again, equals, again, because it's a formula, you need to use an equal sign. So we will use this one, that's a relative reference, again, and we have to multiply that one into this, which is, in this case, we need to use an absolute reference. Why? Why do we need to use an absolute reference? Okay, later. So if we will press enter, okay, it will give us the answer. Okay, if we will compare that one here, okay, same yung answer niya. But why do we need to use an absolute? Because kanina sa pag-discuss ko sa inyo sa relative reference, when, of course, we need to use the fill handle to apply that cell to the rest of the cell because it's so tiring if you will just type it one by one. So we will need to click that one and apply that one to the rest of the cell, right? Okay, yun. But why do you think na zero yung answer niya dito? Saka dito at dito. Dito lang yung tama. That's the use of the cell reference. Why? If we click that one, okay, yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina sa relative reference, when we apply the formula to the rest of the cells, there's a loop, okay? There's a +1 kada cell, okay? When you apply that one to a certain cell, nagpa-+1 siya. So, ang nangyari kanina, yung conversion rate natin, na kinuha natin na imumultiply siya sa centimeter para maging inch, is ito, yung cell H3. But ang nangyari, kasi in-apply natin siya to the rest of the cells, ang nangyari, guys, is nag+1 siya, which is H4 is this one, which is 0. row. So, yun ang nangyari. Kasi any number multiplied by 0 is 0, right? So, that's why 0 yung answer. So, to make sure na yung titingnan ng ibang cells is ito lang, you need to make that cell reference an absolute. Sana naintindihan guys. Sorry for my Tagalog accent. Okay. So, you need to change this one na dapat H3 na siya. So, ang mangyayari is if hindi nyo alam yung absolute reference, so itatype nyo dyan H3. Diba? Or another option is you just need to type this one, 0.393. And then apply that one to the rest of the cell. Pwede naman. Pero, okay, yung lesson natin dito is about absolute reference. So, we are trying to use the cell reference. But this formula is pwede. Why not gamitin na lang to if you are not using the absolute reference, right? So, you just need to type the conversion rate and then type that one to cell reference. But our lesson, again, is about absolute. So, I need to show you the absolute reference. So, again, to make a reference, a cell reference, and absolute, you need to type a dollar sign before the column and the width, before the letter and the number. So that's an absolute. And then enter. Then if you will apply this one to the rest of the cell, click and then hold and then drag. So that's it. That's the answer. Okay? So I hope claro guys ha. So if you will look at that, look the cells individually yun. Nagstay yung H3 na cell because of the dollar sign. Okay? Okay. So next is we have the mixed reference. So sometimes we need a combination of relative and absolute reference. Okay. So yung example natin actually, okay, wait muna guys, punta tayo sa Excel. Actually guys, yung na-discuss natin kanina, this is a relative reference. This is an absolute reference. And itong dalawang, okay. This one, guys, itong dalawa na nandito is a mixed reference. When you say mixed reference from the term itself, mixed, okay, dito sa cell natin, makikita natin na, okay, so this means the combination of relative and absolute reference. Again, that's a mixed reference. So, makikita ninyo sa cell, okay, makikita ninyo sa cell na ito yung mixed reference. Okay, bakit dito sa example, yung bilang yung nilagyan ng dollar? When you say mixed reference, guys, okay, for example, this is a mixed reference. Okay, that's A. Okay, ibig sabihin yan, okay, that's a mixed reference. Ang ibig sabihin yan, guys, is fix na siya na nasa column A. But yung row niya is nag-loop. Okay? For example, okay, yun. If we look here, nag+1 yung row. Okay? That's a mixed reference.